attorney match. The top four law firm sale trends for the remainder of 2023. So let's jump right into it. The first law firm sale trend that we see is that your internal successors, that is your senior associates, junior partners, attorneys who you would think you'd want to recruit into your firm, they really don't want to purchase a law firm and they can't afford to either. And the reasons why are fourfold. The first is because an internal successor, you hired these people for a job and they only want a job. The second is they went to law school and not to business school. The third is they just can't afford to purchase your law practice. A typical internal successor is in their 40s, 50s, even early 60s. And the costs that they have in their own lives between their home payments, car payments, saving and paying for college tuition for their kids, saving for their own retirements, saving for all kinds of things in their lives. We add on this extra checkbox for purchasing a law practice, it's typically just a bridge too far. And the fourth reason why is for whatever weird reason, internal successors, they just think that their boss is never going to retire. The second trend in law firm sales that we are seeing is that growing law firms want and need what senior attorney led firms have. And what senior attorney led firms have are first and foremost clients. They present instant client growth. That is, if you're a senior attorney, you've practiced more than 30 years, you present instant client growth to growing law firms. In addition, you present a combined workforce. That is your workforce, the internal successors, let's say, that often do not want to purchase your law firm. Well, they present great assets. That is, from a workforce standpoint, great assets to a growing law firm. That's not only the lawyers, but that's also your para staff. Third is the cumulative expertise, right? Senior attorney led firms have developed expertise in multiple practice areas. And by bringing that expertise to growing law firms, it checks that box on what you have in terms of what they want and need. And fourthly is the marketing value. Too few senior attorneys are taking advantage of the digital marketing value that they're sitting on in terms of the podcasts that they could be producing, videos that they could be producing, blogs that they've always aspired to be writing. By joining growing law firms that have entered into what we call the 3.0 digital era, they can tap into that marketing value that senior attorneys present. The third trend in terms of law firm sales that we're seeing is there is a market shift in consumer behavior of how consumers today, post 2020 in particular, are searching for lawyers and law firms. And that is having actually a negative impact on the value of senior attorney led firms because most senior attorneys grew up in what we call the word of mouth era. In the word of mouth era, clients would find out about you and your practice by people saying, "Oh, I know Attorney Smith. Oh, I know Attorney Jones. And if you have this need, Attorney Smith or Attorney Jones can meet that need." What happens today when those clients, though, are going on to Google? And we're often saying that Uncle Google is becoming, and really, in my opinion, has become America's greatest referral source for lawyers. Well, what happens when senior attorneys are not there on the first page of Google when would-be clients that need their services are searching for their lawyers rather than yesteryear's word of mouth? As a result, today's senior attorneys are generating less clients than yesteryear, and the major value of a law firm is clients. So in terms of that trend in law firm sales, if senior attorneys are not developing as many clients as they did in yesteryear, because we are now in this 3.0 digital era, their client numbers are going down, and hence actually their values are going down. And the fourth trend that we're seeing in terms of law firm sales is that we have now entered into what we call law firm sales 2.0. And law firm sales 2.0, unlike in 1.0, there is real consideration being paid at closing tables. In law firm sales 1.0, consideration is typically an earnout based upon the goodwill of a senior attorney's practice. That is, clients and referral sources, if they continue generating revenues for a buying firm, the buying firm will share in those revenues with the senior attorney seller. And law firm sales 2.0, there's upfront payment based upon digital value and brand equity, because law firms really since Y2K, that is since the year 2000, have been investing in their websites. And when selling firms can show that their websites are generating revenue, generating really clients that lead to revenue, then buyers are going to be able to get behind paying money at a closing. And just as importantly, or even in my opinion, more importantly, banks will be able to lend on those law firm sales in law firm sales 2.0 because of the brand equity and digital value that those selling firms present. So, in terms of today's buzzer beater for the top four trends in law firm sales for 2023, the remainder of 2023 and beyond, those four law firm sales are the number one, your internal successors. They don't want to purchase your law practice and they can't afford to either. Trend number two is that growing law firms want and need what senior attorneys have, which is clients, a combined workforce, cumulative expertise, and marketing value, taken together what we call synergy value. The third trend is that because we are now in what we call the 3.0 digital era for the legal industry, the value of senior attorney led firms is actually decreasing for those senior attorney led firms that are not adopting multi channel digital marketing. And as a result, their number of new clients is actually decreasing as compared to the clients that they added during the word of mouth era that preceded 2020. And the fourth trend that we're seeing is that we are now in law firm sales 2.0. Certainly, law firm sales 1.0 is still prevailing, is the vast majority of sales that we see. But a new trend that we're seeing is that in law firm sales 2.0, real consideration is being paid at closing tables because of the digital value and brand equity, plus the book of business that senior attorneys bring to buying law firms. And that is the state of the market for law firm sales in a little bit more than 7 minutes.